Hello and welcome. My name is Alan and we are back with more in the Buddha's words. Today, we'll actually be getting into some of the more teachings, this time for chapter 9, Shining the Light of Wisdom. Before we get into the actual chapter, let me go ahead and remind you I've got two ways to donate to the channel. I have a Patreon account that allows you to donate monthly basis. Also, I have a Coffee account which you can do the same, but it also allows you to make one-time single donations if you are so inclined. Do not donate if you are in financial trouble, or this will put you in financial trouble. I'd rather you be able to take care of what you need to take care of first. If you can afford it and you want to, thank you. I do appreciate it. I really do. It's me, myself, and I who make these videos. So, with that said, let's go ahead and jump into this. Section 1, or Part 1, Images of Wisdom. Section 1, Wisdom as a Light. There are, O monks, these 4 lights. What for? The light of the moon, the light of the sun, the light of fire, and the light of wisdom. Of these 4 lights, the light of wisdom is supreme. Section 2. Sisters, suppose a skilled butcher or his apprentice were to kill a cow and carve it up with a sharp butcher knife, without damaging the inner mass of the flesh and without damaging the outer hide. He would cut, sever, and carve away the inner tendons, sinews, and ligaments with the sharp butcher's knife. Then, having cut, severed, and carved all this away, he would remove the outer hide and cover the cow again with the same hide. Would he be speaking lightly if he were to say, "This cow is joined to this hide just as it was before"? No, venerable sir. Why is that? Because if the skilled butcher or his apprentice were to kill a cow and carve it up with a sharp butcher's knife, without damaging the inner mass of flesh and without damaging the outer hide, he would cut, sever, and carve the inner tendons, sinews, and ligaments with a sharp butcher's knife. Then, having cut, severed, and carved all this away, even though he covers the cow again with that same hide and says this cow is joined to the hide just as it was before, that cow could still be disjoined from the hide. Sisters, I have given this simile in order to convey a meaning. This is the meaning. The inner mass of flesh is a term for the 6 internal bases. The outer hide is a term for the 6 external bases. The inner tendons, sinews, and ligaments is a term for delight and lust. The sharp butcher's knife is a term for noble wisdom. The noble wisdom that cuts, severs, and carves away the inner defilements, fetters, and bonds. Chapter 9, Part 2. The conditions for wisdom. There are, O monks, these 8 causes and conditions for obtaining the wisdom fundamental to the spiritual life when it has not been obtained, and for bringing about the increase, maturation, and fulfillment by development of the wisdom that has already been obtained. What 8? Here a monk lives in dependence on the teacher or on a certain fellow monk in a position of a teacher, and he has set up toward him a keen sense of shame and moral dread, and regards him with affection and respect. This is the first cause and condition for obtaining the wisdom fundamental to the spiritual life. As he is living in dependence on such teachers, he approaches them from time to time and inquires, "How is this, venerable sir? What is the meaning of this?" Those venerable ones then disclose to him what has not been disclosed, clear up what is obscure, and dispel this perplexity without many perplexing points. This is the second cause and condition for obtaining the wisdom fundamental to spiritual life. Having learned the Dhamma, he dwells withdrawn by way of two kinds of withdrawal: withdrawal of body and withdrawal of mind. This is the third cause and condition for obtaining the wisdom fundamental to the spiritual life. He is virtuous, restrained by the restraint of the patimokkha, perfect in condition or in conduct and resort, seeing danger in the slightest faults. Having undertaken the training rules, he trains himself in them. This is the fourth cause and condition for obtaining the wisdom fundamental to the spiritual life. He has learned much, remembers what he has learned, and consolidates what he has learned. Such teachings that are good in the beginning, good in the middle, and good in the end, with the right meaning and phrasing, and which affirm a spiritual life that is perfectly complete and pure. Such teachings as these he has learned much of, memorized, recited verbally, investigated with the mind, and penetrated well by view. This is the fifth cause and condition for retaining or obtaining the wisdom fundamental to the spiritual life. He is energetic. He lives with energy set upon the abandoning of everything unwholesome and the acquiring of everything wholesome. He is steadfast and strong in his effort, not shirking his task in regard to wholesome qualities. This is the sixth cause and condition for obtaining the wisdom fundamental to the spiritual life. When he is in the midst of the Sangha, he does not engage in rambling and pointless talk. Either he himself speaks on the Dhamma, or he requests others to do so, or he does not shun noble silence. This is the seventh cause and condition for obtaining the wisdom fundamental to the spiritual life. He dwells contemplating rise and fall in the five aggregates subject to clinging, thus: such is form, such is arising, such is passing away, such is feeling, such is perception, such are volitional formations, such is consciousness, such is arising, such is passing away. This is the eighth cause and condition for obtaining the wisdom fundamental to the spiritual life. For these 8 reasons, his fellow monks esteem him as one who truly knows and sees, and these qualities lead to affection, esteem, concord, and unity. These monks are the 8 causes and conditions for obtaining the wisdom fundamental to the spiritual life when it has not been obtained, and for bringing about the increase, maturation, and fulfillment by development of the wisdom that has already been obtained. But we'll go ahead and end this chapter here. I know it's kind of a short one, but that's because part 3 is rather lengthy. We might even have to break it up just because it's so long, but yeah. With that said, let's go ahead and look at what the introduction has to say about these 2 parts. If it does say anything. Chapter 9, Part 1, Sections 1 and 2 speak of Pana, respectively, as a light and a knife. So they are both simile, saying, look, this is what Pana does. It shines knowledge. It allows you to remove the defilements if you use it properly. Because it is the supreme light, because it illuminates the true nature of things and dispels the darkness of ignorance. It is the knife, a sharp butcher's knife, because it cuts through the tangled mass of the defilements and thereby opens the way to liberation. And the word Pana itself is derived from a Sanskrit word, or Pali word, meaning to know. Chapter 9, Part 2 gives a fuller list of the 8 causes and conditions for obtaining the wisdom fundamental to spiritual life, and for bringing such wisdom to maturity. Of particular interest in the 5th condition, which not only emphasizes the contribution that study of the Dhamma makes for the development of wisdom, but also describes a sequential program of education. First, one learns much of those teachings that are good in the beginning, end, and middle, and then one memorizes them, then recites them aloud, then investigates them with the mind, and finally penetrates them well by view. The last step can be equated with direct insight, but such insight is prepared for by the preceding steps listed, which provide the information necessary for thorough penetration to occur. From this, we can see that the wisdom does not arise automatically on the basis of concentration, but depends upon a clear and precise conceptual understanding of the Dhamma, induced by study, reflection, and deep contemplation of the teachings. But yeah, that will go ahead and end that piece. Like I said, it's a shorter one, but part 3 of chapter 9 is a long part that we'll probably even have to break up into multiple videos. With that said, as always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Someone tells you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. And it can't be tinfoil hat wearing sources or a bunch of anecdotes slapped together to try to make sources. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, later.